bad white men call him the devil. The Yavapai call him Eyes Like the Sky. Takes place in the hinterlands of the newly formed United States and Territories in the years before and after the great conflagration called the Civil War. Men roam and fight each other simply to stay breathing. Muskets give way to repeating rifles. Cannons give way to Gatling guns. War nurtures weapons. Weapons clear the land. Southwest, old hatreds grow into new ones. Old beliefs are shattered by gunfire and charging horses. Into this cauldron of fire rides a young man who becomes a shadowed legend. His name even takes on the mantle of the bogeyman in some homes. Among the first Americans, his name is exalted from wickiups to longhouses. Teepees to cliff dwellings. Among the men of the Badlands, he is feared for his silent walk and swift, economical dispatching of his enemies.
Chapter 1. They'd been watching the farmhouse for a while, maybe all day. There were two of them, both young and fit and desert-hardened. They were lords of where they lived, and they had no foreign teaching from white men or Mexicans. Except for one thing. They hated the Mexicans more than the white men because of their cruelty. And they'd learned cruelty from the Mexicans very well in return. Curled up into the sky like an albino snake. The two young men watched and counted the white men down in the farmyard. A tall man and two shorter ones, maybe his sons. A woman would occasionally come out from the shack, get water from the well in the front yard and carry it back inside. A small child would be with her. The men watching on the rim had no calendars, so they didn't know the date. 12th of June, year of our Lord, 1854. Their party. 8 men, all armed, running smoothly and trackless over the rocks. One of the watchers moved away to tell the main party of what they had seen. The raid was about to start. Chapter 2. Miguel O'Brien ran with the Apaches. He ran, and as his legs grew, he glided over the desert earth. And he learned how to live on what he could keep down. And his name was now Eyes Like the Sky. face of a slave. He was valued for his stamina and distant vision. By the time he was 15, he had already killed Mexican troopers and feared no man. It is 1864 now, and the Americans' war has not come to the desert lands. They fight among themselves way off to the north. The Yavapai Apaches are still lords of all they survey. Then one morning the Americans did come, led by a man holding a leather book with a cross stamped in the leather. Evil man who did terrible things to people in the name of a god that looked upon the man himself with revulsion. Asleep when they attacked. The rifle butt sent him unconscious. When he came to, he was trussed up, on his back on the ground, looking up at the Americans. He had not been killed because they had noticed his blue eyes and knew he was one of them. So, at the age of 16, Miguel was back among his father's people. But once more, a family he loved had been killed. This time, by Americans. Chapter 3. The Americans took the trussed-up boy to a place called Fort Whipple, a fly-blown group of tents surrounded by a stone and timber stockade. An American called Willis was the boss there, and he glared at the man of God as he entered with his captives. He noticed the boy when he was brought in with a few Yavapai girls, and he looked into the color of his eyes. "What do you make of him?" he asked the God-man. "He may be the young O'Brien boy who was lost here years ago, or he could be from the Jepson party who never made it to New Mexico," said the God-man back. They named the boy Jepson O'Brien, but the natives and the frontiersmen called him Blue, because of his eyes, but also because of the baleful, almost sad expression he carried on his face. Expression of someone who kills with compassion, but not mercy. Although he was still a boy, the men mostly kept away from him. All except for one, a trapper who understood his skills and in return fed him and taught him the white man's way. In a short while he could speak and read and write their language, and he also added the calm, fast dignity of the gunman to his arsenal. So fast that men treated him with care. But he was slow to anger, and when angry, swift and final in his reply. In the Arizona desert in the 1860s, he had every skill that you needed to survive. And he was just 17. Chapter 4. The God-man with the Bible was in the back room of the chapel at Fort Whipple. The God-man was deeply engrossed in satisfying his goat lust with a Yavapai girl. She never said a damn thing, but just leaned over an altar while he defiled her. He held a pistol to her head as he grunted away, and when it was finished, he shoved her towards the outside door. But the God-man never got to fixing his long johns or his black trousers. The young man named Blue strode softly up behind him and drove a long-bladed knife into his neck. Blood spurted into the chalice on the altar, but not the blood of the Christ. Just the blood of the God-man. With a cough he died, and a bubble gurgled. yellow-pied girl, money, guns, and food, and 2 strong horses, and rode into the desert away from Fort Whipple. The God-man's body was found, but he was not missed. Chapter 5. For days they traveled, the young man and the Yavapai girl. She told him her name and they spoke in the language. They rode the horses until they gave out, then their throats were slit and meat was taken to eat later. No fires were lit, and they ate berries and raw jackrabbit as well to keep going. After a week they relaxed more as they entered Apache area. They saw dust way off like dust devils, but they knew it was horses. They could hear shots and no more. When all was quiet a day later, they moved silently towards the killing ground. The buzzards told them the story before they got there. Dead white people, a lot of them, maybe a half dozen. Burnt wagons and arrows, but not from one tribe. Some of the arrows were different and shot hoof marks and moccasin tracks that were shaped like a white man's way of walking. Some white men had done this loosely disguised as Apache. They took what they could and use and walked on. The purple mountains and red ochre earth swallowed them up, and the young man smelled his own blood as they ran, and it was a good smell. The smell of being alive. Suddenly the girl dipped sideways, and a split second later the young man heard a distant shot. He dived for some rocks and watched as more bullets hit the girl. The young man looked at her body, and as she died, he worked out where the shots were coming from. He knew that death was going to walk among the shooters. Chapter 6. There is one thing that a white man should never do, and that is move towards an Apache, because you will never get there. How do you catch dust in the wind? The young man saw the way they were coming by the movement of insects and birds, and he knew where to go. Like the snake, he slithered into a dry arroyo and worked behind the shots in an arc. After a while, he saw them, 3 men. 3 white men clad in skins, and they walked confidently towards the girl. The young man knew somewhere behind them another one held the horses, making 4 altogether. He moved towards that man. The killers could wait, let them enjoy the hunt before they went under. He found the one with the horses. He was young too, and he died quietly with a surprised, indignant look on his face. The young man tied the horses to a tree, and they'd come in handy later. 4 horses and equipment. At the girl's body, 2 men knelt beside her while another stood guard. The guard suddenly cried out as his head exploded in a bubble of pink spray and he fell forward. The other 2 went to ground and nervously called out to each other. "Do you see the bastard? No, he must be close." But he wasn't. A sharp sporting rifle will reach a long way in the right hands. The young man took careful aim, and the smaller of the 2 men felt his right leg blasted away. The bigger, heavier man sank as far into the ground as he could make himself go. Still, he could not see where the young man was. The young man by now was astride a horse and making for a Yavapai stronghold half a day's ride away. And horses than he needed, and he knew where 2 white men were sitting in the desert with no water and no horses. White men dressed as Yavapai Apaches. The white men would be calling for their mothers and their God by evening. But the young man would be drunk on tiswin and full of deer meat, and satisfied by their agony.